Hey YouTube, it's me again. So I am doing another video which is about voltage readouts on Gigabyte X470 motherboards and X399 boards. Now I'm yet to test the X399, so I'll reserve my judgment until I check them. But I've just done the X470, so let's go over some of the changes that that were made. So, the Gigabyte, if you've seen the original video, you'll know that, if you haven't, you need to go see it. You'll know that voltage readouts were pretty inaccurate compared to what the actual voltage meter was reading out. And one of the things that or gripes that I had with voltage readouts was the Gigabyte BIOS was contributing to poor voltage readouts in CPU-Z, right? Because they're sort of linked. And I reported some of those issues with Gigabyte, and Gigabyte PM team decided to make a new revision, which is coming out in the next month or so. So it's still not out. This will be a bit of an exclusive look at a new revision. You guys can, I'll tell you how you can recognize what revision it is. There's a marking on the PCB, so that's something to keep an eye out on. So they've done the voltage readout change. It's much more accurate, and I've used DMM and I've done some stress testing. I'll show you that in a minute. I personally use turbo load line calibration. I was told to use high load line to kind of match, but I've actually matched it with turbo, which was under load. It was identical voltage, so I like turbo. That's good. The same change that is being applied on this board, the X470 that I'm pointing at, is going to be applied on the B450 boards. So basically what Gigabyte's done is they've moved the voltage readout closer to the center of the socket. Unfortunately, AMD doesn't have a pin reserved for voltage readout, things like that, like Intel does. So the manufacturers themselves have to provide accurate readings, and this is about as good as it's going to get that Gigabyte's doing here, which is good. I'm glad that they've taken that seriously and they've made the change possible. What have we got here? So that's for the 470. For the Extreme board, which I'm yet to test it, I'm sure it'll be similar, but I will confirm that in actual videos to follow up. The voltage will still be about 10 to 20 millivolts off sometimes, but it's much better than before. Okay, so I haven't had a chance to test Threadripper 2. I have it in the lab, and here it is. That's the beast. Also, Cooler Master sent me this gigantic cooler to use with it. It's awesome, and it has up to 250 watt TDP capable cooling performance, which is very nice. Anyway, so I'll test this one a little later. Also, the other thing that I was told about the X399 boards is that in the new revision, which I'm going to show you, they've done a fix where they've separated the ground of the LEDs on the board to the sound card or the traces or whatever. So the traces are separated, and that has improved the decibels kind of dropping off a little when audio is running and LEDs and all of that. So that's another change. It's a small change, but look, if you are a gamer, or if you do care about the audio performance or how clean it is, or the decibel output, that's another change that they've done, which is nice. So anyway, I will show you that, and I will show you the X399 board, and I'll show you the X470 board now. So enjoy. We'll go back to BIOS because my complaint was the BIOS wasn't reading well and that it needed a correction, and that it was way out of line to what was being sort of set. So I'm just holding this idle in BIOS to see what it does. Now we've set 1.3 and it's going between 1.28 and 1.304, while our digital multimeter lie detector test says otherwise. But this is significantly better than what it was in my first video. Alright, stress CPU. Okay, so we're at 4 gigahertz. Our voltage is 1.283. Our CPU-Z voltage is 1.284. It's actually, they're pretty much identical. That's what I wanted to see. My complaint to Gigabyte was your CPU-Z voltage is just a little all over the place, idle and particularly load. It's practically spot on here. You can see we're running all 16 cores at 4 gigahertz. Everything, load line calibration is accurate because normally with turbo it doesn't overvolt. If you use extreme load line, it will overvolt a little bit here and there, of course. I like it. This is a good change. So. Okay, so we are going to run stress test at 4 gigahertz. Watch it blow up. Okay, here we go. It's running. The voltage, real voltage, is 1.2 or 1.208. CPU-Z is reading right. Hardware info is fallen apart. It's reading 1.14, so that's horrible. So CPU-Z seems to be more accurate, which is a bit of a joke. It's running stress tests at 4 gigahertz with 1.2 volts. Wow, not bad. There, 32. CPU-Z is showing 1.21, which is nice. 1.2 real, so it's quite close to what it's supposed to be. Hardware info is struggling to refresh with this heavy load. CPU-Z is definitely updated. You can see the little notches moving as it should. So at least we know that this is running as it should. And okay, it's going, but For some reason, I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a slow... Oh, okay. He's just struggling to update because this is crazy. Anyway, we're going. Nothing's crashed. As you can see, our vCore is holding steady. Can you see that? I hope you can see that, because otherwise this would be pretty stupid. Yeah, there you go. 1.248. So it's holding steady at should be more visible. Yeah, it's stable. 4.1 gigahertz, 1.24 volts. And okay, so 4.2 gigahertz, 1.29 volts, 64 threads. It's the Threadripper 2. Let's try Prime 95 again. Small FFT. Look at that, that's amazing. It's under full load now. Small FFT, and it's holding the voltage that I've set in BIOS. It's under full load, it's still running. It's 4.2 gigahertz.
Whoa, I think I just figured something out, Beavis.
What?
This sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks.
This sucks more than anything that has ever sucked before.